Hello there. This is Flash. The streaming show where, well, one of many streaming shows where Flash fiction is written live before your eyes with some of your favourite author tubers and Richard Holiday, the award-winning poet.
Thank you, Martin, for that lovely intro. I guess I should introduce myself. I am Richard Holiday. I'm the author of Nightmare Tenant. Oh, shut up. You should all know who I am by now. I am the cheeky rapscallion British guy from around these parts. Subscribe to my newsletter. Do it now. And it's fun to be back after our summer break. I mean, Martin, geez, the world changed since our last stream, didn't it?
The
Queen died.
Paradise certainly shattered.
So what you're saying is, Martin, because we went on break, the Queen died. That was our fault, basically.
Legally, I'm not saying that, but if people were to speculate, they are welcome to.
We love speculation here.
It's not been confirmed that herself was a viewer, but it is conceivable this would be the sort of anarchic creativity she may well enjoy.
I think that's very true.
And we also, in clockwise order, have the brilliant Ben Pick of Running to Write fame. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I am Ben Pick, as Martin mentioned, Running to Write fame. Every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I come out with videos with questionable writing advice through running metaphors. And as Richard just showed up, he came better prepared than I did. He had my debut novel, Falling Through, is just out, and I'm working on getting out my second by the end of the year.
Does the book do you have a title yet?
I actually just came up with one this weekend, so I might do a video about it.
Is it going to be like the last few chapters names too?
No.
That
just kind of was a perfect storm.
Yeah. And then my turn.
And we also have SD Huston of Blood of a Lily fame. Tell us more.
Well, it's great to be here with all my favorite authors. Oh, wait. I mean this one. I didn't know if that would be funny or not. I was trying to.
I like it.
But yes, I am. It's nice to be here with everybody whose books I really enjoyed. So I'm happy to be here. I have the channel under SC Huston. I am 1/3 of the Self-Publishing Tips and Tricks podcast with Ben Pick and Morgan Lee, who is in the chat, and 1/2 of the AuthorTube writing conference duo with Margaret Pinard. And I do weekly running, not me. I'm not running. I do weekly live spritz every Friday. And and I put out some videos sometimes here and there about writing and my self-publishing journey.
And you're also on the Books by Adrian book club thing, aren't you?
Book club, yes. And Ben and I are both hosts for the worldwide write-a-thon. Coming up in
Ungodly O'Clock.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, this is Flash. Aha. You know, like that old movie, and also writing quickly. So, we're going to take some suggestions from you, the watching audience, on what our topic might be. We are going to assign each of our writers a genre from the fan favorite spinning wheel of genres. And then we will have 10 minutes where we will write the start of our flash fictions. We will then have a chat where we lament ever thinking it was a good idea to try and write publicly. And after consoling each other and explaining we've started, so we're jolly well going to finish, which I think was the title of one of Ben's running videos, we will have another 10 minutes to finish everything up. And then, if you're still around, we're going to read them to you.
Yeah, any particular order? Sounds good.
Other than National Mourning, what have you done with your time off?
I did get Monday off. That was good. I've been working on my new book. It's kind of gone through a little bit of a journey, but we're getting there. I'm I'm aiming for a Q1 2023 release of Price War, my new techno thriller. It's been very exciting to read. Other than that, just sort of, plodding along, writing newsletters because they're good fun. It's kind of getting a bit difficult to keep reswiping and saying, "Oh, working on my new book." Wink, wink. Still doing that thing. I'm just looking forward to getting a new book out. To be honest, I think it's been about time I've kind of milked this one to death. If you buy this, you get to play a game. It comes with a free game of Spot the Typo. Find them all and you win a prize.
There you could have been waving this whole time.
Those are Easter eggs. It's like what was that?
Oh, what you mean this book? I always keep to hand.
No, that's a travesty of the written language. No, I'm talking about the book where they were going inside the virtual world and there were 3 clues.
Ready Player One.
Ready Player One, thank you. There's all these Easter eggs inside of Nightmare Tenant where they where you can enter to win and live inside of a haunted apartment complex.
Mm-hmm.
I actually plan to do something similar to what Richard was just saying. I'm going to ask my newsletter if they want to be on a typo buster team, and everybody who finds a typo.
I was joking.
But I plan to, everyone who does it will get entered into a giveaway prize. Yeah.
Ooh,
so that's
quite a good idea. That incentivizes people to pick your books to pieces.
Yep.
That's actually a really good idea. I might have to steal that.
Oh no, go ahead. I stole it. The incentive idea I got from an author I heard on a podcast, but the typo buster team I thought of last year.
I think that's a really good idea because one of the things I've definitely learned from publishing this for my new book is get multiple pairs of eyes on the draft you're about to click publish on, because even though you can correct it later on, it's a bit embarrassing, really.
Well, just remember, Richard, it's not a ripoff; it's a spinoff.
I love it when you people use my memes against me.
Did it take you long to get your flag back from half-mast?
I actually didn't take it down. I mean, it's not actually on a pole, to be honest. It's literally on a plastic hook fixed with blue tack. We've got the main budget here.
We've still got like where I walk from my house to the shops. There's still a load of little flags up for the Jubilee, and someone's put them all at half-mast. Which
what, on their little poles?
Yeah.
Wow,
that's attention to detail.
Yeah.
So
it was difficult for writers because our viewers overseas may not be aware, but if you were caught writing during a period of national mourning, the pages were taken and burnt.
It was very disrespectful to write during a period of national mourning. It was 10 days of no productivity.
Or have weather forecasts, apparently, for some reason.
You couldn't go to the shops either.
It was all a bit weird.
It was a bizarre 10 days, wasn't it, Martin?
Well, it's something that hasn't happened in, 60, 70 years?
Yeah.
70 years. So everything changes. You're going to get new money, new post boxes, new stamps, if anyone sends letters these days. It's exciting, but also interesting.
If you guys get new money, the money you have already, is it still viable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it used to be.
Then if you had to exchange it or something.
It used to be that you would have money with multiple monarchs in circulation. But in the late 70s, we moved over to decimalization from that silly thing they talk about in Harry Potter.
Pounds, shillings and pence.
And it was basically 250 pennies to a pound for some reason.
It was 240 pennies. There's all these other weird pennies.
Oh, yeah, because you've seen that Sylvester McCoy Dalek episode where they explain it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I love my Doctor Who. It's just going to be interesting.
So, yeah, that's why all the older coins went out of circulation.
I mean, we do something.
Yeah.
Oh, we do something similar where old bills get filtered out of circulation eventually. So, like if they get too crumbly or too damaged.
The real question is, would you want to be on money? Your face?
No.
Okay. It's good chat there.
So, if you have a topic that you would like us to write flash fiction about, which isn't regicide or currency related, Dickie, is there some context to this suggestion?
There is. Shall we explain it together, Martin? It wasn't just me going totally off-piste. Me and Martin are members of a very entertaining Facebook group called the what's it called? Sci-Fi Writers Group. And someone was honest. Yeah, go on.
You'd think it would contain writers of sci-fi, but it seems to be more people who can't design book covers and are very proud of this fact.
And they get very defensive about it.
Yeah.
How often do they make a Full Moon on the Horizon joke?
Not as often as you'd wish.
It is honestly, it's the Facebook equivalent of like going to the zoo, going in this group.
But the question came up the other day, could astronauts on the moon take their helmets off to kiss?
In theory, they could. They just have like a 10-second window before it starts, being deadly.
Now, the thing is, if you're exposed to vacuum, if you hold your breath, you're a write-off. If you exhale, if they're quick about it, they could resuscitate you. If they're quick about it. But, and I suppose it depends on the kiss, would that have the same effect as holding your breath?
Depends how good the seal around your lips is, I suppose. So
there wouldn't be a seal at first. You can't. You have to take off the helmets.
Yeah, I suppose.
And then the post got banned, didn't it? Because someone complained about it not being serious. So that was my suggestion for tonight's sojourn into madness. It's lesbian moon erotica. Words that may actually not surprise you to hear coming from my lips. The context of that was a bit bad. So, has anyone else got any prompt ideas?
Nothing that can top that, no.
Oh dear.
I think we're going to have to do that. At least it's not bloody grannies.
No, we got to look for something else.
You did have the suggestion of Nan Wars.
No, that's the premise of my book, Martin. You can't steal that.
I thought that was Price Wars.
Shush. We'll let the courts decide that one. This person's here saying hello to Shannon. Hello. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you for joining us.
I don't want to even attempt your surname, so I don't want to bungle it. So I do apologise. AH. I'll call you AH.
Well, her name is Anne.
Anne. Hello, Anne. Nice to meet you. That's better. Eva's here, and you stop clicking the buttons, Martin. I'm clicking them. Eva is there, and I'm pretty sure she is wearing the sorting hat in that photo.
Oh, nice.
So we could speculate now about what house she'd be in.
What other houses?
Really?
Even I know that, Martin.
There's Hufflepuff, but aren't they the kids that just play with safety scissors and glitter glue?
No, they're the house that's next to the cafeteria, so they're,
Oh, that's my kind of house then. She's a Slytherin.
Same here. Ambition and
twirling those evil mustaches. Yeah, I think that'll be funny. Being a villain is fun.
You don't have to be a villain.
You say that like you're speaking from experience.
Ooh.
Set your kingdom for me by learning how to breathe fire.
All right, Shannon's actually doing the job of coming up with topics. The rest of us are just meandering.
Ooh, I like that one.
Dress for the weather you want, not the weather you have.
Certain types of rings certainly do produce windy conditions. Stop clicking the buttons, Martin. It's really irritating.
That's not me.
I'm taking my hands off the mouse. I'm letting you run this show, Martin. I think the weather changing one's quite cool. I would like to know how you're going to do that. If that's a romance story. Place the ring on her finger, and then lightning comes out of it.
Well, you always have the part in the romance where the two people in the romance are not, they walk away from each other. So then you can have rain.
Ooh. That sounds fun, actually. Anne likes the weather changing. I mean, anything that isn't lesbian moon erotica sounds like a good thing.
Let's not get us into trouble on our first show back.
Really,
Let's try and get to at least Christmas.
Historical romance. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Define historical, though.
Yeah, there's different ideas of that. I've heard people call historical like the 1970s, where I think like Margaret, she says it's before our time, way before our time.
Well, I saw in the Goodreads sort of choice thing category, there was a book set in the 1980s that was described as historical. I'm like, get out.
I'm going to make a flash aha ruling. As long as it's set before lunchtime, it's historical.
Well, if we go by books by Adrian rules, anything before Heroes is classical. So
Vintage.
2010, yeah, vintage. 2000, 2005, 2006, I think.
Jesse, that gave
the good
us
old days. Mm-hmm. Let's go with your grandparents' era or earlier. So the black and white era, not the sepia era.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on your grandparents.
Books by Adrian's here.
Oh.
Up. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Books by
thank
Adrian.
you to this week's sponsor.
It is sponsored because you didn't pay for that, did you? You conned him out of that.
He just sent me a load of merch, and then after I started on TikTok, and then he was like, "Oh, how's it going?" I'm like, "Yeah, I keep getting free merch," and he's like, "What? Really? I'm going to try this." I'm like, "Yeah, you're the one sending the merch."
I'm very disappointed that he hasn't sent me anything for free yet. So, playing obvious favourites there.
Mm-hmm. And even after
Go on, Ben. Go on.
Oh, I was going to say, even after I scored that stop the spread spreadsheet shirt for Richard.
Don't kick him out. We need him.
We need him. Yeah, I mean, we all have our rebellious phases, don't we, Ben? Thing is, you bought a T-shirt, the message of which you don't agree with. So, if anything, what does that make you? Untrustworthy on T-shirt fronts.
Fair enough. I like the style.
Don't worry, Ben. I have a funny feeling that a Flash Aha Pro spreadsheet themed T-shirt may be not as far away as people think.
Martin, you were complaining about doing the new graphics all day. So, you sure you want to stretch that far?
Well, I was complaining they're taking ages to render because they were taking ages to render, but it's okay because everyone loves them.
So you're going to make Flash Aha merch? Like that your image that you had for your video, take that, put it on a T-shirt?
Quite possibly.
Is that good? It could actually go on a T-shirt. I think, considering the trouble you went to create that, I think you should capitalize on that. I love Eva.
Oh,
I know. So, how are we feeling prompt-wise? I know it's going very strange.
I think we're going with the weather-changing ring.
Oh, I think this is the prompt we're going to go for. Shannon, you have come up with that. I mean, or we could kind of fuse it with lesbian moon.
I thought we were trying to get away from that.
It's a whole different kind of ring. What's that film called where if you watch the videotape, you die? That is The Ring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
7 days later, you die.
I mean, that film is very dated because it's a video.
Yeah, if only they'd gone with DVD, then it would have lasted so much longer.
Oh no! If they'd gone with HD DVD, that would have been even better.
So there was somebody kind of remade that for like a streaming video, I thought, where it was if you watch this upload a video or whatever, and so somebody.
It's like a Twitch streamer.
Yeah.
It's very 2018, isn't it? Martin, have you got a piece of paper ready for the Wheel of Genres?
Yes.
Yes, good. Because it is now time for... I don't have a banner for this. I'm just going to put it out. Right. You would have thought with a 2-month break we'd have had some kind of increase in the professionalism of this, but alas not.
Yeah.
The lack of practice.
It's overrated.
I think.
Out of practice. Martin, who should we draw first? I'm thinking ladies first.
Very well.
Shannon's writing paranormal.
Oh, yeah. That hurts.
Don't laugh, Ben. We haven't drawn you yet.
Yeah.
You're next, though.
Who's this?
Romance, romance, romance.
Are you spinning for yourself?
Oh,
Science fiction. All right.
well, there you go.
Goes really well with the ring.
Yep.
Only better is if you do fantasy and you write Lord of the Rings. Oh, I hope Richard gets fantasy.
Yeah. I would write a better story about a bloody ring, let me tell you that. Okay, shall I go next? I'm going to go next. I'll get romance back. I get to spin again then.
There you go. Your romantic fantasy about a ring.
This is right to itself, doesn't it? Martin, you are the last, but certainly not the least.
Ooh. Everyone happy with their genres?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good because they are enforced quite strenuously.
Martin, yours isn't a genre, it's a Michael Jackson song.
Yes, but thanks to YouTube's copyright algorithm, we can't sing it for you.
Okay. We could do that on Author Tuber's karaoke with Barrett and what's her name? Margaret.
Were we to ever get an invite?
Oh, they leave it as an open invite. I keep saying Ben should go on there and sing his little heart out. He's not enthused at that idea.
I mean, I do think there's a lot of overlap between lessons that, apply to both singing and writing that could be analysed in a weekly format. If someone wanted to start a series called, Soprano to Write.
Go for
I reckon
it.
Ben could.
That's all
Ben could do rap to write.
I would never make anyone suffer by to sit through that.
Right.
Would that
But
be
then we get-
writing lessons learned from predatory dinosaurs? Has anyone
I'm
come
waiting
up
for
with any concepts for their stories?
Oh, I
Was
thought we
I
were
doing
doing the possession of the ring.
Yeah, but it's got to fit the genre.
Yeah, I can do something for science fiction.
Yeah, I came up with one.
I am just going to wing it.
That's not like you at all.
But this time I won't write 3 words in the first half.
Hello, Maggie. Richard would like to apologise for you for scheduling this 12 hours earlier than it should have been. But thank you so much for coming.
As she pointed it out, I was like, oh, I got to tell them, and I forgot.
I woke up to panicked messages from Adrian.
What's going on? That is part of the fun, Adrian. I mean, Barrett will say, he'd be like, oh, but we don't know the tunes. Like, the words are on the screen. It's part of the fun. If anything, being a good singer is a detriment to karaoke. Ooh. 1980s hair scrunch with all hairs coming out of it. Ooh. Martin, I'm waiting for you to put the timer on.
Everyone ready?
Sure.
I have. By the way, are we ready? Just to check.
I'm ready.
Okay. Get ready to flash. Aha.
Jesus.
Okay, how's everyone doing?
Was that the end of the timer? I'm so confused.
Oh, just because there wasn't a bong.
Or any sound whatsoever.
Sorry, I meant from a bell. No, don't want Adrian getting excited.
Oh, I have to write that into my next book in another critique of drug culture. Oh, lots of trouble there. Was that actually the end of the time, or are we just kind of like baffled?
That was the end of a timer.
I have written a grand total of 293 soul-changing words.
You are ahead of me. I am only at 223.
I'm at 98. I had absolutely no idea what I would write, and I just argued with Adrian about things. And
I think he was admiring your graphic of the arcade cabinet that has your creepy portrait on it.
I was going to say, you had the easiest one. Didn't you have fantasy?
You had thriller.
Oh,
Thriller.
I wrote 304.
Nice.
That's amazing.
The Shannon
Good
winner
winner.
prize.
I already knew the story. It like came fully formed in my head.
Oh, it's good
I'm
though when
gonna-
that happens.
I'm having a lot of fun
You
with
thought
this.
about being a professional writer?
Maybe.
I think you could go the distance.
Ben does go the distance in his
Yes.
runs.
He runs to right.
You're right. I ran 7.5 miles today so I could be prepared for this.
That's the blood pumping.
My hell.
Which is ironic because most of our guests actually wait until the stream and then run away.
Ran away in advance. I mean, maybe he needed that mental preparation for this ordeal.
No, I mean it's perfect weather now, so I need no mental preparation. It's just fun to be out there now.
Was it raining though?
It was not. It was a clear day. A little windy, but perfect. I don't know, 60s something.
60 is in proper temperatures.
Ooh. Oh, I show that. Yeah, show what Maggie said.
Yes, Ben, I'm clicking the button. Martin in your bossiness. But my Valley Girl. Oh, I do hope you're going to send that in, Maggie, because that would be great to read.
I think she might be sprinting on one of her other projects.
Ugh, sprints. I mean, I love sprints.
If
I have to
you
say,
love
Shannon's sprints are very
then be
good.
sure to check this channel in November when we will be all nano all the time. And if you would like to join us for nano sprints, then get in touch at the usual address, like at the founder on Instagram or whatever. It's all in the somewhere. Hey.
So you're actually doing sprints in November, Martin? Is that right?
Oh yes.
But you're not doing them at unsocial o'clock, are you? Like
Well,
3
it
in the
depends
morning.
where in the world your clock is.
Excuse me, don't how dare you talk about my clock like that?
Oh, scared her away.
Sorry, it's a
Richard
French
has
cat.
a
He's used to
French
running
cat.
away.
That's why you never see his on the stream.
Your cat probably took one look at that, Martin, and ran for it.
He is a French cat.
He was a French cat. He is your idol, I suppose. Could you have converted
Yes, my
to
cat
the,
is my idol.
You've converted to the ancient Egyptian religion system. Books by Adrian says, why is everyone so on edge today? Because we haven't done this for like 2 months. We're out of practice. I'm not used to socializing.
I was going to
People
say, I'm
are
not on edge of
watching
delight.
us, it's weird.
Adrian's, we should
I
have
got
Adrian on, shouldn't we?
Oh, error. What? For some reason, my thing got blocked. So let me see if I can try this again.
Your thing got blocked. You need to review your fiber intake, Ben. That'll help.
Yeah. I was telling Adrian that I was perfectly relaxed today, so I don't know why it didn't go through. I just assumed that you guys had.
Oh, his message got blocked. And Maggie says, no, this is a raw. So she could be sending it in. We should find out.
If you'd like us to read it out, we would love to.
I'm perfectly relaxed today.
Put your
Books by
name-
Adrian. Because his username is in all caps, you have to shout it out.
I don't feel on edge either. I feel pretty good.
I feel
All
pretty.
pressure's on the hosts.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't take this seriously at all.
No. Why would you? It's just YouTube.
Just YouTube. You're the one that's trying to grow this channel, aren't you?
I mean, try. Basically.
You've basically converted to TikTok at this point, haven't you?
I'm a TikTok sensation.
Shannon, you're not on TikTok yet, are you?
I'm not. I have a username. I have SC Huston, I think is my username on there. That's it.
Ben, you're not on TikTok, are you?
No, but I should definitely try and reserve Ryan to Ray. Let me see if I can do that before somebody else takes it.
I'm going to beat Ben to it.
Rich is really fast.
Slow.
Rich is a fast typer.
If I reserve writing to run, I can just kind of...
Right.
I bet you would have to start a channel about how your writing lessons have improved your running. And I don't think anyone would believe that at all.
No, one of you guys took it. You guys are terrible.
Are you kidding? Someone's actually got...
Yeah, I can't do writing to write. Unless my wife was smart and she got it for me. I think somebody else took it.
I mean, does that icon look familiar to you with the open book with the show? Imagine it. We may have just spoilt your Christmas present, which is your TikTok account from your wife.
That is a horrifying gift.
I mean, as I may have discussed with all of you at some point, I'm an ex-TikToker.
Fair enough. My wife did do it, so I'm awesome.
Oh, oh, she did do it.
So no one can steal Rain to Write on TikTok anymore.
I could do running 3 right.
How did you come to that conclusion so quickly?
What?
He texted her.
No, I was able to log in using my email address.
Oh, okay.
She's
And
very
you didn't like
thoughtful.
do it in your sleep or anything like that?
I can
would
imagine
not
him
like
sleep
for-
TikToking. I mean, not
Like
it's quite...
routines as you
I
snooze.
also vaguely remember having a conversation where she said she was going to do it for me. So
Oh, okay.
I mean, not being funny, it wouldn't surprise me if TikTok literally scans you during your sleep to think, oh, does this user have an account?
and that's why I don't sleep with my phone in my room sometimes.
To be fair, my wife handed me my phone and said it's got Instagram on now. Post to Instagram, and that's how I'm on Instagram. How much does a hipster weigh? An Instagram. Hey!
And
I don't know why you're clapping, Richard. It's metric.
I'll have you know, I do get on with metric. I don't understand this whole, pounds and ounces thing. It's confusing hearing Americans talk about things in pounds, but I just think they're talking about money. Unless you have pounds of money. It's possible. Maggie says she's not on TikTok.
Much longer the way things are going.
I thought you could upload a maximum of 10 minutes to TikTok. I mean, no one's going to sit through that because to be on TikTok, you need to have no attention span.
Yeah, 5 seconds tops, man.
That is how long I spent on there. Martin does dad jokes. Next, join Instagram.
So, shall we finish some Flash?
Yeah, let's see if I can double my output.
Do we go another 10 minutes? I don't remember.
Yes.
It's a
Oh,
10
I finished
minutes.
my story, so I'm going to have to beef it up.
Martin is sharing the thing. Longer TikToks are 21 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
About as long as my attention span. Too short for me to engage. Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
And we're off.
Wrong.
You freaking scared me.
Oh, sorry.
I jumped. I don't know if anyone saw that, but I jumped.
Martin's on mute.
All right.
What have I told you about startling our guests and putting me on mute?
I didn't do that.
I managed to finish with barely seconds to spare. How did everyone else do?
I also finished.
I kind of ish finished, but I got up to 613 words in total.
I got 355.
I had 400 and oops, I lost the word count here. 468.
Nice. My total is 516.
Richard, what do people do with their flash fictions now?
Email it to that. blazhahastream@gmail.com.
So we need to email you now?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Can I add like 2 more sentences?
Martin, is Shannon allowed to do any more writing?
Flash,
We gave you 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Too many
I
windows.
just thought of something I wanted to throw in there.
I mean, if you weren't to get it to us in the amount of time it took to get a few sentences down, I'm not sure our independent adjudicators would be able to verify that before the end of the stream. So give it a go. Our independent adjudicator is my cat.
Instead of writing for 2 hours straight, why not come with me for a 2-hour run? I like the idea of hanging out with Ben, but I don't like the idea of running.
For 2 hours? How'd you get home? You'd be miles away.
Well, the intention is you run in kind of a circle or an out and back or something. You don't run for 2 hours and then drive home.
Well, you could run for 2 hours and then just get an Uber home.
Is that in the?
That'd be a sweaty Uber.
So, Ben, are you saying that that's like how in the hero's journey, the hero returns home at the end of the story?
Yes, it is.
You can do an episode on that. Oh, this shit's easy.
Oh, I've got to tell Ben this funny story. There was a story in the paper a few years ago now about this guy who won a marathon because he caught a bus.
They're called Snickers now, aren't they?
Yeah. I think that's the London marathon. I think I did a fun comment about that in one of my videos.
So what you're saying, Ben, is you're going to have to come to London to the London Marathon.
No, because maybe, sure, but he got kicked out of his running club because he rode a bus, and then he was like hiding in the bushes right by the finish line, and everyone was pointing to him, so it was really obvious that he had cheated.
I mean, I love the dedication there. Okay, I'm now going to start collating the fresh stories.
No, it's not.
All right.
They're sent. Okay. It should have gotten to you guys. Hopefully it did.
Yeah, same. I sent mine out as well.
Do you see it?
We've got Martin, Ben, Shannon. Is anyone else sending any stuff in?
If you're sending something in a chat, let us know now. God, I'm so good at hosting. I forgot in the 2 months I was off.
I don't try to be funny. Books by Adrian. I don't know how to write funny. So it's probably not funny.
Wow. Richard, he's calling you out with your aspect ratio.
It's not my fault. It's the bloody camera. I'm using my DSLR camera, and it adds those 2 little black bars to it for some reason. I don't know how to turn it off.
Did you Google it?
Well, it's not something it's adding. It's the size of the sensor on the camera. It's all there.
So there's a problem with the size of my sensor. If I was married, that might be a problem. Amuse yourselves while I copy and paste these things.
Play them more.
I think Ben already loses because he addressed his email to Hi Martin, not Hi Martin and Richard.
Well, Martin was the one saying to give the instructions.
Richard won't even give me the password.
I did give you the password. Ben also loses points for using too many paragraphs instead of a.
We don't actually give you points. There's no real winners. It's more like the Great British Bake Off.
There's a lot of line breaks in there. I just like the visualization for it. It's easier to read. So
there's this idea in screenwriting called vertical writing that you don't put too many big walls of text together. It makes it easier to get read.
Exactly. This is for your benefit.
And I was actually doing the... Oh, no, you have to read it, Macy. We're not doing the hard work for you.
A lot of the novels I've been reading lately, but in the genre of romantic fantasy, their paragraphs are like 2 sentences long.
Oh. I'm used to the fantasy stories where they're like pages and pages.
Yeah.
It's like Lord of the Rings, where he spends about 40 pages describing a tree.
Which isn't really a romantic fantasy. I don't think there's a woman in it until the 3rd book.
There is a wonderful romance story between Legolas and Gimli.
Well, yeah, there are those scenes where he tosses the dwarf.
Excuse me? He tosses the dwarf? Oh, hey, if you do that too much, you go blind. Adrian asked,
Ben.
have I killed Ben?
Yeah. I thought that was funnier than your comment.
BG? What's BG? Valstar? No, that's
his background.
Oh, background.
Because we're in the middle of a cost of living crisis and we're on the verge of an economic collapse. It's hardly a priority.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, Martin. About
join us next month when we'll be streaming by candlelight. I'll be broadcasting from a bloody exercise bike to power the stream because the lights will be off.
Hey, going back to Ready Player One, that's what they did in that game or in that book.
Ben, have you read the sequel to that book?
I have not. I've heard it's a travesty. I think you were actually one of the people who told me that.
It's a book so bad that it actually makes the first book worse. It is like the Game of Thrones season 8 of books.
To be fair, the movie did a lot of the work for it. So
it was. I mean, Martin, have you read Ready Player 2?
I have.
Do you regret reading it?
It was fine. Like,
oh, I'm pretty sure holding his book upside down is like an insight. It's like if you fly a flag upside down.
I was trying to hurry up and show it at the same time you were, but I didn't catch it.
I'm really sorry. I'm at a remote location, so I don't have any of your books with me, including my own. So I can't.
Ooh,
thank you.
But we do.
Oh. Not even my own book. I'm saying your book. I have McMurdo and I have Blooded Lily on. Actually, yeah, I can do. Hold on.
Oh no!
Not quite the same with your.
Not quite the same, but it's still there.
I have to say, Ben's cover is the bomb. Yeah. You can see where Amazon damaged my copy there. No, they did. They literally, it was all cardboard stuck to it, but you can see all the scuffs. But luckily, Ben chose the gloss cover, so it's not that noticeable. Are we ready for the entrance? Oh, that looks really nice.
Well, I think yeah, there we go. And go back to the actual cover. Sorry, it's in black and white.
Did you hold up a copy of Nightmare and suggest it's worse than Season? Oh, Adrian, you're cold-blooded. You are cold-blooded. We wouldn't have you any other way. Let's do some reading, shall we, folks? I might have to zoom this in.
Oh, yay.
I'm waiting for the box set to come out, by the way, Shannon, because I bought your first book and it was literally propped up, and then I came in with a big bowl of curry, tripped, and splattered it with curry.
Oh.
So I'm waiting for your box set. I'm just going to buy them all. Thank you, Ben, by the way. That's lovely.
You're welcome.
Yeah, box set will come out in November.
You should read this, by the way.
Ooh.
This has the infamous The Mattress Wailed chapter in here. Right. Shannon, would you like to read your work, please?
Okay. And so, I had the paranormal one. Just as a reminder. I pulled the stake out of the vampire's chest, and he burst into a million black pieces of ash. One caught in the hairs of my arm. The streetlight glared yellow overhead. The one streetlight that still worked in this nearly empty town. I blew the ash off my arm and rose from my crouch. I scanned the night-shrouded street. Touching each finger to my thumb, I counted how many vampires remained. My captain had sent the intel earlier. I was ready for whatever vampire came next. These suckers killed my family, my little brother. Now I would be a weapon honed from a decade of training. A flash of light at the end of the street brightened, throwing every empty house into relief. It sped down the street toward me, growing bigger as it neared. Heat and light radiated like the full sun. I threw an arm across my eyes as it enveloped me. When the heat dissipated, the light marginally dimmed. I peeked over my arm. It was a fairy. Not the pretty and pink with gossamer wings type, but it was a fairy. Bright blue skin twinkled like diamonds. At least it wasn't the vampire twinkling. With long black hair streaming down between bat-like wings and his two enlarged incisors, he might have been mistaken as something else, a hybrid of a vampire and some crazy blue bat creature. But pointed ears slashed through his hair, that and his twinkly skin. Everyone knew fairies twinkled, not vampires. Lita, he said. His voice sounded like music on a soft wind. It floated over me, and I was instantly at ease. We need you to continue your hunt as we are unable to defend ourselves. Don't you have magic? I flapped my arms like wings. You know because you're a fairy? Our magic is useless and they are killing us. He held out a hand and a gold ring lay in his palm. Take this. This will aid in your hunt. Then you use it. He sighed, his fingers slightly curling over the ring. It's made of the magic humans had thousands of years ago. It was too dangerous in the wrong hands, so we took it. However, we cannot use the magic contained within. Okay. I was uncertain of gifts without owing someone. What do I owe you? How about a kiss? I'll take that. I hesitated. Fine. I pecked his cheek and then reached for the jewelry. The minute my fingers closed over it, the fairy disappeared. Darkness settled back into the street. Hissing sounded all around me. Holy moly, the vampires had waited for this moment. I slipped the ring onto my finger, hoping for whatever magic it could give. The vampires lunged. What I wouldn't have given for the dawn. I wouldn't see it again. One vampire clawed at my shoulder. Then the sun blazed in the sky. Every vampire disintegrated.
That was really good.
Nice.
Yeah, what really good.
What's that? There's some really good turns of phrases in there. I love not the pretty and pink with gossamer wings type. That was really good. That's really good.
I like the idea of like a paramilitary group going up against vampires. That was something that could be a bit of a runner.
I was expecting parachutes. Apparently, that's not how paranormal works.
Oh, parachutes paranormal.
And I think Ben is confessing his wildest fantasy there.
No, because Books by Adrian said, I feel like this show is just for me.
Oh.
That's classic age. And then I noticed some Twilight shade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no sparkly vampires here.
I approve. Books by Adrian says that was awesome. And it was.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Martin, what did you think?
Well, I said it was wonderful.
Did you? I wasn't listening.
No, evidently not. And yet you are the only one here wearing headphones.
And Anne says the last 4 lines surprised the reader.
Oh, cool.
Excellent. Well done all. And we're now moving on to the pick of the bunch, shall we say.
Is it me?
No, it's not.
Did you include the okay.
That's what we said, the pick.
I'm clicking the header here. See? Organised.
So I want you to know that I did include a title in there. It's called One Ring to Rule the Weather, although it's irrelevant to the rest of the story. I just want to include there so that I could troll Richard.
And what was your genre again?
Science fiction.
Okay.
So. Warning sirens blare as lights flash up and down my ship's main corridor. Blasters fire up and down the hall, burning the metal and filling the air with noxious fumes. I lean out from the crate I was using as cover and pulled the trigger. Howling is the only response to know I hit my target. I roll back behind cover as blaster fire lights up where my head had been. We don't have anything worth stealing, I shout, hoping my voice is heard over the echoing blasts. One shot hits the wall behind me. Some sixth sense alerts me as I turn to see the dark matter fuel line was hit. The blast melted the protective shielding. Explosions rip a hole clear through the engines. The sudden depressurization rips a hole, and suddenly I'm dragged along toward the bowels of the ship. The armor pirates who invaded are flying by as all of us are getting sucked out. I fling my arms frantically and thankfully catch on the handhold. My feet feel like they weigh a ton as the forces send me whipping about. All I can do is cling to the handhold for dear life. A metal chain whips me in the face and I lose my grip. In desperation, I clutch the infernal piece of metal which has just killed me. Flying into the empty void of space, I can't help but regret my latest series of bad luck. I shouldn't have accepted that questionable supply run. I shouldn't have broken my rule and looked at the product, yet the money was too good for me not to take a gamble. I still remember being disappointed to pull apart the box to find a single ring on a chain. It looked basic, a simple band resting on a metal chain. The box was large enough for a person's weight in gems or rods to fuel the sneak past the blockade. Instead, I'm going to die sneaking a ring across the galaxy. The air becomes frigid. Do I exhale or do I hold in my air? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. Without a spacesuit, I'll be dead in seconds. I open my hand to find the ring. At least I'll die wearing the most expensive piece of jewelry I've seen. For the price they offer me for its safe delivery, this thing must be worth a planet. The lack of oxygen causes my vision to blur as I put on the ring. In addition to the blur, I almost see thick cloud begin to surround me. Oxygen deprivation must be getting to me as the thick gases seem to be expanding. 30 seconds pass. I'm not dead. I open my mouth and breathe, stunned to find oxygen in the emptiness of space. Looking around, I see the clouds billowing from the very ring I cursed moments ago. I'm saved. I look around. I'm screwed. I reshape the clouds to form the letters, my desperate plea to an unforgiving yet miraculous and wondrous galaxy. SOS.
Very good.
I loved all the descriptions in there. My favorite line is the second sentence. And I thought it was kind of cool. I thought for sure the ring was going to save him from his situation, like how the ring saved my protagonist from their situation. But then it surprised me with the SOS at the end.
Well, it did save him. I mean, it gave him oxygen in the deadness of space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a tone at the end that he's still dead. That he's going to die somehow.
Thank you, Richard.
Yeah.
I have to say, yeah, your description is I was really enthralled by that, and you have this really great descriptive tone, Ben. It's just wonderful to read. It's very gripping. I think once you finish the Falling Through saga, you should definitely write a space opera. Oh, sorry, Martin. That makes him competition, doesn't it? You have to eliminate him.
All my science fiction ideas are derivatives of Star Wars, so I don't know how well that'll go over.
That's fine. Everything's a rip-off of Star Wars these days. So the third of our quartet of incredible entries, and I'm actually including myself for this time, because usually I'm like, oh, geez, is Martin Lejeune.
I wonder if we're going to spot a pattern here.
What's that?
Oh, with ours? What was your genre?
This was a thriller.
Da, 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 da.
Just a dance party.
With zombies. Martin, take it away.
It had to change, and the ring was the only thing that could do it. Anderson scaled down the cliff face, cautiously. His hands smoothly let the rope pass through his hand as he descended. Reaching the wall where the base had been carved into the rock, he held position and slowly knocked twice. Cautiously, he pulled himself up, just enough to be out of view. Nothing happened. Again, Anderson lowered himself, this time just enough to kick the top of the window with the toe of his boot and pull himself up again. Pebbles fell loose, rolling down the cliff face as a visual reminder of just what would happen if this rope system gave out, leaving him to fall to a gravelly death. The window opened, and a large man leaned out, looking around, trying to understand what could possibly have knocked on a window at the top of a top-secret facility halfway up a cliff. Quickly, Anderson descended, his boots promptly introducing themselves to the back of the man's head, knocking him out of the window and down to a gravelly depth below. In the same movement, he disconnected from the rope and rolled through the window, landing on his feet, pulling his silenced PP-7 pistol and taking out the 2 guards by the room's single door. He eyed the man and woman in white lab coats who stood absolutely still, raising their hands above their heads. He lowered the gun and made his way to the glass case in the middle of the room. There it was. He slowly opened the door and reached in and lifted it up. Cold to the touch, the white gold ring had the power to end all of this. Go on! Go on! Someone had hit the alarm. Before Anderson could unholster his sidearm, he was surrounded by a dozen troops, all pointing enough semi-automatics at him to end him several times over before his body hit the polished tile floor. He did have enough time to slip the ring on his finger. The troops looked around apprehensively as the thunder clapped. Would it be enough?
I'm surprised he put on the ring and didn't disappear.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's another story.
We may have, by the way, a late entrant.
Ooh.
Luckily, my one's nice and long. And my story is too.
What did you mean it's not your story? I'm confused.
Shush. That was really good, Martin. I think you really kind of gripped the genre really well.
Yeah.
Much like the character did to the cliff face.
Yeah. Lots of gravelly death, which I thought was very gritty.
I was thrilled.
I like the phrase where you said the boots met the back of the guy's head.
I definitely pictured that.
Yeah, me too.
My story, Eva. My story. Well done, Martin. All by yourself too. I'm not sure whether he's meant to take that condescending tone with that.
I think he's meaning it in a night. Well, you can never tell.
You know, you really can't tell with him. And it's clapping. We need to get her on at some point. Everyone's welcome on this show. Shall we read my story then?
Well, you seem quite proud of it for once, so...
Well, I'm certainly more proud of it than my previous entrance in this bloody mess.
So yeah, you had romance butt, right? No, romance but fantasy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I shall read from this screen. Are we all ready for this? Keela peered into the sodden earth, the glint of the platinum pulling her deeper into the morass. She knew she'd seen it, and this time she'd free it. Come on, she groaned, feeling the dirt filter through her digits. There's treasure. What are you doing? A serene voice said from behind. Keela turned, her hair matted by the rain. Imral, Keela said, getting to her feet, her face rejoicing. She felt butterflies leap in her stomach as she watched the autumn rain. You weren't at the harvest gathering today. I had to go to the centre of the Magistrata Forest as part of my initiation. Your initiation? I thought it was too dangerous, Keela's voice filled with concern. She reached out, putting a tender hand on Imral's arm. Imral flinched. There was trouble? The task was done, dear Keela, Imral said, but it was not without effort. You need to heal? My father. He has the gemstones. I need to get out of this rain because it was your father who sent me for you. You didn't return at the cockerel's tolling. Keela sighed. How did you know to find me here? I followed your epoch trail, Imral said. You must really learn to keep that. Bad things may waylay you next time. Fine, fine, Keela said, pouting. You've left Farmer Athan's copse a bloody mess. He leaves his wife's copse a bloody mess, and that's not the worst. And you stole his trowel? How else was I to release the buried treasure the ethers directed me to here? Enough. You've kept your father waiting long enough, and a chill befalls me should we remain in this cursed weather one moment more. With me, Keela, I will deliver you to your father right this instant. Keela sighed again and cast the trowel into the dirt. There was a metallic clang, and the wind howled, pushing the rain away. Strange, she said. I thought by Horus's howls the rain was to last but another night. Keela, Imral said, Be still in your thoughts and accompany me. Imral swept forward. The leftover rain coursed down her body, through the valley of her back towards the chasm created by her pert buttocks.
Sorry.
I've got to carry on with this.
You're not even on the move.
You just got carried away.
Her silver marine hair shimmered. With a rhythmic squelch, her feet trudged through the sodden moss in a fashion so hypnotic it entranced Keeler, and the journey to her father's thatched hut passed by without incident. The door squealed, then slapped shut. Ah, dear daughter, Keeler's father murmured. I was most concerned. By golly, you're completely soaked through, my child. Father, she said in protest as her father came towards her with a hide that wrapped around her. You know you mean so much to me, little one, her father said. By the ethers themselves, I will not let them take you like they so took your mother. Keeler squirmed, freeing herself. Father, I think I found something wondrous in Father Athman's field by the old well. I told you, her father said, his voice now as cold as the outdoors at that season. You stay away from that old well. Evil spirits dwell in small, dark holes. Now your dinner has been prepared, and I'll hear no more of this until you are replenished. Is that understood? Luvon, Imral said, addressing Keeler's father. I'll take my leave of you now. You'll do no such thing. Join us, Imral, for our evening pleasantries. Imral looked at a moment, catching Keeler's saucy gaze. Keeler looked away, her visage abashed. Though looked back once, Imral had considered the table. I think I'll take your kind offer, she said. Keeler gulped, her heart doing somersaults with pleasure. That's it.
Wow. You certainly know how to set a scene. I mean, even the first. No, I'm serious. Like your opening sentence set the scene perfectly. And all jokes aside, the romance was well written.
Yeah.
Was it though? Was it?
It's definitely
Even a bit about the chasm created by her pert buttocks.
That fits right in there with the romance industry.
Well, and I kind of thought, because you said that when her father noticed that she was wet, that he'd say something about her buttocks.
This isn't Game of Thrones.
I was trying to go for a more what's the polite way of saying lesbian subtext.
And
lesbian elves searching for a ring.
And the names are very fantasy-like.
I did use a elf name generator for those.
You know what I'll say about, you said you have the lesbian thing. I actually pictured my protagonist as a male. Did you guys picture him as a female?
I did use the female pronoun. Oh, right, your story. Oh, sorry.
My story that I wrote. What did you picture as a female because of the writer? I left it ambiguous on purpose.
And I think it could work either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be female or male. Yeah.
I think I tend to go female because I remember reading through Blood of the Lily. So I think I naturally hear your voice and I just think.
Yeah.
I actually think that story might be fun to write properly that I did. I kind of thought, interesting.
I have to say that you stepped outside your comfort zone as a writer, and that's admirable.
I did. I had you all laughing, didn't I?
Perhaps there's a future in the romance for you.
There's certainly money in it. You like money.
I do like money, so let's not rule anything out.
You could be those three Spanish men who got an award for female writer of the year or whatever it was.
Yeah,
that's the thing that happened. There was an author that won female writer of the year. It turns out they were an amalgam of three Spanish men. Just saying. And I think I kind of lent into the kind of fantasy way of speaking a bit. That was good fun to write. Not sure if it was totally serious
that's
though.
British.
Adrian. I just wrote a sex scene last night, and that one was. Ooh.
That was the wrong quote by Adrian.
Well, surely it wasn't up his alley. No, we're not going to go further down that route.
I was waiting for that one.
Oh, it never dies once it's in StreamYard. Let me just check the email address. We have not received your message, Maggie. And by the way, I'm the one that's looking after the email address, not Martin.
You're very defensive about that.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
So no, Martin, you didn't get my email.
I mean, to be fair, you have been writing on my account for most of chat, so you can't blame people.
No, that's a lie. I've been using my own account.
Is it in spam?
Good question.
I would never put her writing in spam.
No. Yeah, that's what happens when you rub it too much. You get sensitive.
Funny, when you realise how many innuendos Adrian makes, his logo suddenly takes on a whole other context.
You know, Martin, you're not the only person to notice how phallic his logo is. Ben's wry smile means he agrees.
No comment.
No comment. Well, so he would say no. Never mind. I rub my wand too much. Maggie, we are having technical difficulties getting your story. So if you want to do it in Instagram to me or Martin.
Yeah, I just put the email address in there again. And so this one definitely worked for me.
Hang on. We'll give her a little bit more time. That's the one. Let's fill this dead air while we're waiting for Maggie's story to materialise, shall we?
Cool.
I'm glad one of our protagonists made it through in one piece.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of death in.
Yeah, there was a much higher body count than we usually get in Flash Aha.
Mine had quite a body in mine, didn't it? Silver marine hair, the valley of her curves.
Well, I like the silver marine hair because that screamed fantasy to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I've got Maggie's story.
Can you show your screen, Martin?
Yes.
We're going to have you on again to hold you accountable next time, Books by Adrian. So
we should get Maggie on properly as well.
We really should. Yeah. You are welcome anytime, Maggie. We need to set up a new application form. Speaking of application forms, make sure you vote in the Books by Adrian Tuber Book Club thing. And the poll remains open until the 4th of October. Martin, this is your chance to canvass for your book.
Yeah, Adrian has asked me to encourage everyone to vote for the McMurdo Rift in the Tuber Book Club, and you are free to do so.
Martin, what are you going to say if you win?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's only one way for you to find that out, and that is to vote for the McMurdo Rift.
Yes, one of our wonderful
My nomination was Dan Hook's book.
And mine was for this one.
It does have cats on it, so that's it.
And Maggie is supporting us in the chat, so yeah.
Okay. Oh, I've got Maggie's document. Hold on.
Oh, you've got
Maggie,
it.
Yeah, I've got it. I've got it, Martin.
Fine, I'll leave that with you then.
Who's going to read it? Shall I read? I'll read it.
Yes, I think you should read it.
Okay. God. Staff I have to work with on this.
All right.
One scrunchy to rule them all. Valley Girl Fantasy took a futuristic horror turn when she... Oh, this is just a description of the story, isn't it? Okay. They sat staring at the forming clone of a teenage female dead for 2 millennia. Do you think she'll be just like the ones in the recorded media we found? I hope so. It'll be adorable to have such a vacuum-headed female, Todd declared as he stretched. I spent months getting the formula of that ozone-killing Aquanet stuff perfected. Ken sighed. I don't care about her puffy hair, as long as she is pretty and promiscuous as a real valley girl. They leaned over her, their eyes fluttered open. Todd greeted her enthusiastically. Hello, welcome to, the future. What's your, totally awesome name? Her brows furrowed in confusion as she stared at them. We have, this for you. We spent, a fortune to acquire a Valley Girl's favorite things. I can't do that all the time. So you would feel at home when we resurrected you, Ken gushed, rubbing his hands giddily. Then he offered her a hand. She lifted her arm out of the dusty nanite powder. Resurrected? Like how? Oh, I'm like Hillary, you know, like the First Lady. I've lost my place now. Oh, she's totally awesome to the max, the Valley Girl rose. Oh, like grody to the max. I'm totally naked and covered in. What is this? It's a specialized nanite pattern that we brought to resurrect people from DNA they find in the archaeological digs. Ken explained. It's very expensive. You are very expensive. Your name is Hillary, not Heather. Todd could not hide his disappointment. Whatevs? Hillary rolled her eyes, then looked down at him with a disdain only a Valley Girl could manage. Your name's Todd, not Tade. Ken shoved his fellow scientist away from her. Ignore him. He's grody to the max. Where was I? Okay. With a bemused expression, Hillary looked around, painfully aware of their gawking glances up and down her body. Is there some place I can get some threads and shower this grody dust off for me? We don't have showers like you're used to. Everything is cleaned using ultrasonic waves. I'll show you, and I hope you like the wardrobe I collected. We collected, Todd reminded, at great expense. They led her to a room filled with plastic, multicolored clothing and furniture. It looked like a prism of neon colors had vomited against the stark white walls. Looking out a window of the house, she was shocked to see the sky was red and the earth a taupe brown. Ken and Todd were more than happy to show her how to use the waterless personal cleaning unit and stand beyond the glass, staring at her. She cringed, turning her back to them as she rubbed her skin and hair with a special cloth. They looked like old men, at least 25. Jesus Christ, they must be prehistoric.
Yeah.
But they were rich if what they said was true. She walked naked to the closet and groaned at the clothing made popular by movies, but she dressed pretending to be giddy and clueless. After Hillary was clean and dressed, she took the scrunchie from around her wrist and put her hair up in a high ponytail. So, am I alone here? Cause I had sisters, and a Valley Girl isn't a real Valley Girl without her posse. We can make you a sister, Ken offered quickly. It's expensive, then Todd added. What's it worth to you, Hillary? He licked his lips as she smeared a bubblegum scented gloss on her lips. His lips on her face, right? She looked them both up and down and muttered something that sounded like a gag me with a spoon under her breath and smiled brightly. Oh, think we can cash that in a sick trick. It can be totally hard. The next day, Hillary watched her clone growing in nanite dust. Ken and Todd were in the garbage incineration unit where they belonged. Jesus Christ. It's hard for them. She murmured to herself, this time we'll do it, for sure. And this time the world is totally ours.
Valley Girl, take over.
Okay.
I was not expecting that ending.
That was... Whew. I'm going to say one thing. I don't know what a Valley Girl is, but it's like she was talking in a foreign language.
Yeah, that's what is it? LA? LA is a certain small area of LA where they, yeah. If you ever saw the movie Clueless, it's very much like that.
25 years old. This is true. That was really good. That was really good. I hope my butchered delivery didn't disdain from that.
You sound like someone that grew up in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pass for a teenage girl, Richard.
Excuse me. Can you imagine me as a teenage girl? Actually, no, that's horrifying.
Have a scrunchie in your hair.
Gotta wear the fishnets.
Okay, next Flash Aha, I will wear the fishnets and just the fishnets.
I mean, you could be. We can't tell.
I don't remember if that was on air or if that was before the show. Anyways, anyways, Martin had gone out last night, or you were in Cardiff, and you saw a lot of people wearing fishnets.
Yes.
So I don't remember if that was on air or not. So I wanted to explain that joke.
Oh yeah, that might have been off screen.
I can't remember anymore, to be honest.
No, me neither.
But that was a fantastic contribution, Maggie. We definitely got to have her on at some point, maybe next month, because next month we are going to be on Halloween. Scary potatoes. Spooky. I think so.
Oh, man.
Actually, no, it's not Halloween.
29th.
Yes, we are. Yeah, I'll just check my calendar. Thank you, Martin, for that. Right, on this note, goodbye. Right, no, that's fine. Does anyone want to say anything as we bring Flasher Hard, the rejuvenation in for landing?
Grody to the max.
What does that even mean? This is what I mean. It's like they're talking a foreign language. Well, what does grody mean? Maybe I'm just being an old man about this.
Was Maggie a Valley girl when she was younger?
Nothing would surprise me at this point. Thank you. I'm glad I added to it with my memorable delivery. Super cringe. Yeah.
Richard, I suggest you check out Clueless, the 90s movie.
Does that count as a classic movie now if it was in the 90s?
It's in the historical records, yes.
Because according to Books by Adrian, anything before 2010, or even of 2010 or before, is like properly old.
As previously established by Flasher Hard ruling, anything released before lunchtime is historical.
Oh, now I understand. Thank you.
Glad someone's got the dictionary out.
You love a good dictionary. I'm more of a thesaurus man. I mean, was it cheating of me to use a fantasy name generator for my story? I don't think so.
Names are hard.
Names are hard. Go just put protagonist for a lot of my writing. I just use placeholders until I can think up a name. It's like % protagonist, because then I can just do a find and replace for that and hopefully not miss anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to be careful. I did see an author who did that and did not get all of her tags out.
Well, I make sure I don't actually use the % sign at any point anywhere else in the book, so I just kind of look for. Because, of course, in a novel, you shouldn't be using the % sign. You should be spelling out % as %. Say with numbers. Oh, Adrian's going in. Catch you on the flippity flop. Toodaloo.
Don't forget to vote. Voting ends on Tuesday. Books by Adrian.
I would suggest you vote for Nightmare Tenant. Oh, wait, that's not voting on that one. I suggest you vote for this book because I nominated it. But failing that, vote for Martin's book because it'd be nice to have another Brit win again.
Thanks, Richard.
That's what you
Nice to have.
None of my none of the books I put in have ever gotten chosen.
I was going to say it'd be nice to get Maggie in there too because she's.
I think Maggie definitely deserves it.
Right.
I agree. Fantasy names are hard. That's why there's an app for that. I mean, whatever book wins, it's going to be good. Apart from the poetry book, we don't want to read that.
Ben looked like he wanted to agree and then realised it was more trouble than it was worth.
I mean, not be funny. I think J.D. Estrada is a great guy and he's probably a great writer, but poetry.
Oh, Richard, you're such a lovey.
Would you rather I didn't love people?
Poetry is hard to
critique.
To critique, yeah, because it's so subjective. It's more subjective than prose.
I mean, at least in Ben's book, we can objectively point out things in this. But how good it was.
Thank you, Richard. Next day.
We'll have a poetry book to submit.
Well, I mean, I am a prize-winning poet, as Eva likes to remind people. So we never say never, but I wouldn't hold your breath for any poetry from me.
You're a poet and you genuinely weren't aware of it.
So
I only wrote that poem I won because I was forced to at university.
So the sequel to Price Wars will be all poems?
It'd be a poetry collection. I think I could do like a poetry epic erotica collection. Can you imagine that?
I reckon you could do a Tolkien style, just drop some poets in through the narrative.
I mean, I could write a Tolkien style book in that. It would be really boring.
Oh, you've already done that. You don't need to repeat yourself.
I've said fighting words to Ben there by saying Tolkien is boring.
No, it's fine. I know people, I can understand why his books aren't for everyone. I'll say that. I happen to love them, but Richard, you are entitled to your own opinion, even if you're wrong.
I agree with you, though.
I know.
Oh, hang on. Who are you agreeing with, Shannon? Me or Ben?
You, yeah.
That is a dangerous position to take, agreeing with me on anything.
I love Tolkien's stories. It's just hard for me to read his stories.
I mean, the plot summary on Wikipedia certainly helped.
That's just like going to the last page in the book, the first, skipping the last page and finding out how it ends.
But I think for the book club, Ben, you offered me Spark Notes for this because I was like...
Yeah, but I mean, I know that you read the book beforehand. You just needed a quick refresher of what happened in it.
And it was really helpful. It's a good book.
Have you
Better
guys
than
read the Rings of Power?
I have not. I am behind on all my shows. I am currently working through The Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not working through. I'm currently enjoying The Sandman.
You make it sound like such a chore.
Yeah, no, I'm loving the story, and it's visually stunning, and the guy who plays Dream is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Are you watching the Game of Thrones prequel?
That's also my queue. Yeah. We'll see if I get there.
I've seen a few. I've seen 2 episodes, I think, or 3 episodes. I think I've got 2 to watch.
I don't know. I'm living vicariously through Books by Adrian because he does like a weekly round out for those episodes.
He does. He was briefly doing a Breaking Bad series, but I think the copyright trolls from YouTube just sort of destroyed him into oblivion, which is a shame.
Yes, it is.
It is a shame. But yeah, no, I'm very behind with my
House
show.
of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
I just call it the Game of Thrones prequel, to be honest, because I can't keep up.
And it's got Matt Smith in it.
Sorry?
And it's got Matt Smith in it. Oh, wait. Sorry.
Now it's Martin's turn to talk over Shannon.
Mrs. Lejeune did some costumes for it.
Ooh.
And
have you seen any of them yet?
Richard.
I'm just going to not say anything.
Hang on.
House of the Dragon has Matt Smith from...
I know.
I think he was in Elizabeth or whatever series it was about, Queen Elizabeth.
The Crown.
And The Crown. Okay. So I couldn't remember. I haven't seen it. But I know him from Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
He was indeed in Doctor Who, and he's very good in it.
He only plays princes now.
And did he have to dye his hair for the Game of Thrones thing? Or was it
I thought that was a wig.
I think it's a wig.
I think it's a wig. Martin, is it a wig?
I don't think your hair gets that naturally silver. Or even with dye, I don't think your hair can get that silver.
That sounds like a challenge.
Go for it. I would love to see you as a silver hair blonde.
I don't think we're just going to have any hair by the time it can go silver.
Yeah.
He's going to bleach it so much it's just going to all fall out.
Mm.
It's the stress of doing this that's causing my hair to fall out. Oh, this is fun. Shall we do outros then, lovely people? We will start with ladies first again, if that's all right.
Okay. Hello, everyone, or goodbye, everyone. I'm Shannon, writing the pen name SC Huston. I do have one book series out. I think everybody who's in the chat probably knows that much about me, or somewhat. I am now working on my romantic fantasy series, which I'm hoping to come out next year with all the books. And I have a YouTube channel under the name of SC Huston. You can find me with weekly writing sprints there and some content about writing in my self-publishing journey. And thank you so much for having me on.
Your videos are always good.
Check out her videos on book marketing, then Run Don't Walk, because they are invaluable.
It's Running to Write is Ben's channel, not Run Don't Walk. Yeah, Maggie, I will. Not Maggie, Shannon. I'm just going to mute myself now at this.
Finally, it's been 13 episodes. So you finally shut up.
Your book marketing videos are very good, Shannon. So thank you for putting them out and being so honest in them about your big deficit. But it's all a good investment, so well done.
Yeah.
Like, I know we're just supposed to be nice to everyone, but about like a month before I published, I was legit confused because half the things I was seeing was people going, I published a book and now I'm rich and it was easy. And the other half were people going, I've published 10 books and I'm broke because I'm spending money on advertising and I'm losing money. And it was really useful just to see someone put it straight how it was and control my expectations.
Yep. And then,
that's coming up later in the year, the I've written 10 books and I'm broke series. Ben
has a channel, but it's crap.
I was just going to say that I've been using, Shannon, your videos as templates for how to market my book, which has been wonderful. So, yes.
I'm glad they're working.
But yeah, I can do my own outro. Sure. I am on YouTube as Ryan to Write, Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know what that equates to wherever you are. You can always watch it on the repeat.
It's midnight here. It's midnight here.
Yes, and thank you for when you show up very frequently at like 7 p.m. my time. So I do greatly appreciate that. I also realize that you probably sleep in a little more and we are on whatever. Anyways, as Shannon did a wonderful job of reminding me all of the things I'm doing as well. I need to do that here. So I'm on Scripting the Book with Shannon, SD Huston, and Morgan Lee. The 1st and 15th of every month, we interview self-published authors, and it's a wonderful time. And we learn plenty of things in there. I've been using a lot of those as kind of a how-to guide for how I did and should publish in the future. I'm also on Scripting the Book with Nia the Vixen of Fiction, and we sort of have a rotating cast, but Natalie Locke and I believe Richard, you've shown up there once or twice, I think.
That was
I've done AuthorTube. What?
Martin.
I did AuthorTube.
Martin was on the most recent one. I thought that Richard was on the earlier one with Dune.
I was in the chat.
Very vocal. You were very vocal in the chat. I'm sorry. Martin was on our most recent episode. Richard has not been on yet, but he is very vocal in the Dune chat and sharing his Dune hatred. I do apologize. And yeah, so I'm going to shut up now. And thank you for inviting me on here.
You're most welcome, even though you
we won't be inviting you back.
Yeah, no. I'll be there for the 50 Shades version.
And they're going to reach out to me and say, hey, Maggie, Mama Maggie, would you like to come on?
I could have sworn that Richard was on there for the Dune one.
I wish I'd been on there for the Dune one, to be honest.
I was on there.
There we go. I'm all.
I wish I'd been on the. Well, are they going to do another Dune film? But I'm not reading another book.
I mean, although I think me and Ben are supposed to read Dune 2 at some point and discuss it.
We can, sure.
Yeah,
I haven't read it yet. So.
Your commentary.
You and Ben could set up a podcast about talking about the Dune, the books and the films. You could call it Dune with a View. I'll laugh because no one else is going to. Okay, on that note, I will do my own outro and then leave because no one's laughing at me anymore. I am Richard Holiday. I am the author of Nightmare Tenants, thriller and horror and sci-fi writer. I am a legend here. I am the staunch defender of pineapple pizza. We need to get Ben to apologise for his apparently controversial choices. Anyway, I am me. You should know who I am by now. If you're not signed up to my newsletter, do that now. It's where you find out about all of my latest stuff and things. I look forward to seeing you soon. Martin, do an outro.
And I am Martin. I co-wrote this book. One ex-wife, her missing husband, a mysterious alien race. The Murder Rift. Check it out now. It's got a spaceship on the cover. What more do you want? Hey, join us on the 29th of October for another Flash. Aha! Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for watching and taking part. It has been wonderful. And we will see you next month. Thank you. Good night. Good night.
Whew.